Hello and welcome to SEO is Not That Hard. I'm your host, Ed Dawson, the founder of keywordspeopleuse.com, the solution to finding the questions people ask online. I'm an affiliate marketer, SEO, and I've been building and monetizing websites for over 20 years. I've built sites from the ground up, bought sites, and I've sold sites in large exits. I'm here to share with you the SEO knowledge, hints and tips that I've built up over the years. Today, I'm going to talk about Google Search Console. Google Search Console is a free web-based tool provided by Google that allows website owners to get access to a whole plethora of data about your site from the perspective of Google's index and rankings, and some tools to help you optimize your organic performance. I mean, it's an absolutely must-have tool for any site owner or SEO. I mean, it's free, it's very simple to set up and use, and it gives you an enormous amount of valuable data about your site's organic Google performance. So to get started with Search Console, all you need to do is go to search.google.com/search-console. Now, I'll put the link in the show notes to that. Now, once you get there, all you need to do is click the Start Now button, and away you go. So Google will only share the information in Search Console with people who can prove their association with the website. So it'll start by having you log into your Google account or asking you to create one if you don't have one already. And then you'll verify your ownership of the website by one of the methods they offer. And these are a HTML file upload, or putting a TXT record in the DNS of the domain, adding a HTML tag, or a Google Analytics tracking code, or a Google Tag Manager container snippet. So whichever's easiest for you to do, you can do. You don't have to do all of them, just the easiest one for you. I mean, I usually use the DNS method because I find that's the quickest and the easiest. And then once this verification is done, Google will then give you access to the Search Console for that domain. Now, there's a whole bunch of things that you can see and learn from in Search Console. I'm not going to go through them all today because I've not got time, but I'll go to the kind of the main ones, the ones that I find most interesting. So when you first log in, you will see an overview for your domain that will give you some key performance indicators. So the first one is performance, and that'll be a graph that you'll see, and it'll show you how many total web search clicks your website's had over a period of time. So that's a click from the organic SERPs on Google to your website. You'll also see an indexing overview, and that'll show you how many pages on your site Google knows about, how many it's indexed, and how many it's not indexed. It'll only give you the two figures. And obviously you want to see more indexed than not indexed. And then it'll give you some experience information, so things about Core Web Vitals, that's how your website performs within browsers and how well it is or isn't doing so, and then some information on HTTPS, whether your site's properly secure. But if we go and look into some of these in a bit more detail, let's look at performance. So on these you can click the full report for these, and when we go into performance, it'll give you more fine-grained detail about the web performance on search results for your website. It will give you things like the total number of clicks, the total number of impressions, which is how many times people have seen your website in search results but without necessarily clicking on it, the click-through rate that you're getting, and the average position in the search engine result pages. So these are graphed, so you can see over time whether you're declining, plateauing, or increasing in the number of clicks and impressions that you're getting. It will also give you information on queries, the actual web queries that people are using when your site appears in the search engine results from actual real results. So you can actually see, for example, the actual keywords people are using, how many times those keywords were seen, the impressions, and how many times they were actually clicked. So this starts to be able to see how well you're performing lots of keywords, so you can then benchmark that over time and look for keywords which you might be, say, getting lots of impressions for but not very many clicks, which means you're starting to be ranked for those keywords, but you're not necessarily high enough to generate many clicks yet. So that might give you an example of a page that you need to work on, and the keyword you need to work on that page to try and raise it in the ranking. So there's really brilliant information on those things, and you can change these results. You can change the period of time. For it defaults, I think, the last 3 months, but you can set it to the most recent day, or 7 days, 28 days, months, or custom date ranges that you want. So it's incredibly useful information there. The next section, the information in Search Console, is that around page indexing. So this is where Google will show you all the pages that it knows about on your website and whether they're indexed or not indexed. And if they're not indexed, the reasons why they're not indexed. Now this is great because it gives you a good overview of is your site being discovered properly? Is it being crawled properly? Are those pages on your site being discovered in the first instance? And then it also highlights any issues you've got around pages that are being discovered, but then Google is choosing not to index them. And the reasons why. Now, it may be because it just doesn't think you're worth indexing. So sometimes that is just one of the reasons found but not yet indexed. But a lot of the time, you might find where there's pages with redirects that aren't in the right place, or you've got issues with canonical tags, or duplicate content without user-selected canonicals. So it's things like that. And it may be Greek to you, but within there you can find what all these issues are, and then you've got the definition of the issue that you can then go and research to find out why you might have issues. So yeah, it might be great. It just knows all your pages, and I've got all them all indexed. It's very rare though I ever see a site with all the pages Google knows about being indexed. But this is a really good starting point where you've got the definitive answer from Google on what your indexing position is on all your URLs. Within this, there is also a really good tool. You can actually give Google your sitemap, links to your sitemap XMLs. If you've got sitemap XMLs for your site, I strongly suggest you get them if you haven't. But this is great for brand new sites to be able to give Google the sitemap XML location, and it's a good prompt for Google to then go and start looking at indexing your site, and that's brilliant for brand new sites. So really recommend it if you're brand new. But I say that if you're not brand new, it's still really important to get this indexing information to make sure that you get as many of your pages indexed as possible, because if it's not indexed, then it's not going to come up in search, and people are not going to see it in search, and you're not going to get clicks to it. The next feature that I like is the links section, and this shows you a good sample of the external links and internal links that Google knows about your site. Now, it isn't necessarily going to show you every link that Google knows about, and they're not necessarily in any kind of particular order, but it's really good to keep an eye on this, because you can find where people are actually linking to you, and it's always useful to know who's linking to you and why. So you can find details on these links. It's the pages that are being linked to and the sites that are linking to them. So it's really good to be able to sort of see your progress with how you're attracting links, or if you're building links, whether those links are starting to be picked up. So yeah, it's really fascinating to go through that information. If you've ever done anything terms of service and you're worried that you may have been affected by them from a manual action, then there is actually a manual actions tab in there that you can click, and you can see whether Google has taken any manual actions against your site. Now these will be ones where someone's manually reviewed your site and done an actual manual action to penalise your site. They will show up in here. Now these are very rare. I don't think that I've ever actually seen one from my own experience of an actual manual action. I've seen people post screenshots of them, but you tend to have to do something pretty bad here. But at least it's nice that you can come and check to be double sure that you've not had a manual action put against your site. So that's a good little feature to know about. The last one is one over here is Search Console Insights, and this is available if you go to the overview link at the top of the top menu on the left hand side. Click overview, and you'll see the first little thing that's highlighted is see the site's top queries on Google search, and a link to Search Console Insights. Now this is fantastic. It gives you an overview of performance on Google, the type of content that you've got that's growing at the moment, with examples, what your most popular content is, and how people are finding you, and kind of what your search results are like at the moment. This information, Google will actually email you every month some insights into how your site's performing over the previous month. But this is a good way of going through and being able to drill down into some of that data. And it's really interesting to see how your site's doing, how it's growing, well, hopefully growing, or if declining, it will give you some detail about how that decline's happening. So really, really powerful information if you're trying to diagnose problems with your site or look for areas of improvement. So I hope that's given you a flavour of some of the information that you can find from Google Search Console, and hopefully given you enough motivation to go and, if you're not using it, to get on with it and get registered and get in there for your sites. It's information that it's free. it really helps you diagnose problems, be able to see, is this a problem with Google? Is it a problem with my site? You've just got to really do it. There's no excuse for not getting access to information. So get registered, get verified, get stuck into information, and see what Google really thinks about your site. Thanks for listening. I really appreciate it. Please subscribe and share. It really helps. SEO is Not That Hard is brought to you by keywordspeopleuse.com, the solution to finding the questions people ask online. See why thousands of people use us every day. Try it today for free at keywordspeopleuse.com. If you want to get in touch, have any questions, I'd love to hear from you. I'm at Channel 5 on Twitter, or you can email me at podcast@keywordspeopleuse.com. Bye for now, and see you in the next episode of SEO is Not That Hard.